Hello friends, I welcome you all to the DECODE IAS YouTube platform. As you might be knowing that we are continuing with the PT 365 Current Affairs Indian Polity series. And in that respect, our next topic is Antidefection Law. So let us understand this. Antidefection law means a law which is prohibiting defection. And what is defection? Hindi में जिसको कहते हैं गद्दारी. Let us understand this. Defection may be defined as the practice of floor crossing. You cross the floor from one party to the another party. This shift of allegiance from one party to another party is called the practice of floor crossing. This is a good phrase that can be asked in your examination. So it's a practice of floor crossing by a member of one political outfit to another, which is commonly known as horse trading. For instance, in Lok Sabha, if MPs of Party A joins Party B, they are said to have defected and thus will have to face the prevalent anti-defection proceedings. Now, why it is in news? It is in news because Calcutta High Court has given West Bengal Assembly Speaker a deadline to pass an order in the defection case. So there's been a case going on in West Bengal Assembly, a case which is related to defection, and the Speaker of the West Bengal Assembly is being silent as to the defection case. And therefore, the Calcutta High Court is forcing, so basically the judiciary is actually forcing the legislature as to do its job perfectly without further delay. Now let us continue with the disqualification, the static portion of this issue. As per the 10th schedule, which was added in the Constitution by the 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act, it contains following provisions with respect to the disqualification of an MP and the disqualification of the state legislatures on the ground of defection. Number 1. If a member of a house belonging to any political party becomes disqualified if he voluntarily gives up his membership of such party. You see, once you win an election, people have entrusted their trust onto a particular candidate with this belief that the candidate is representing the ideals, the principles of a particular party. Nobody is aware of the candidate's personality. Nobody is acquainted with the candidate's accomplishments. It's the party, it's the identity. That's the only identity. And people normally entrust their trust to a candidate which belongs to a particular party. Now, if a person gets vote of majority and then shift his allegiance to another party, it's a blatant disrespect to the democratic principles and values. So they shouldn't be doing this. This practice should be prohibited. And that is the essence of anti-defection laws. Anti-defection law protects the very basic feature of democracy. Second, if he votes or abstains from voting contrary to any direction issued by his political party, then also, unless he has taken a prior permission from the party within 15 days. Right? Next, if the member is an independent member, if the MP is an independent member, then what will happen? He becomes disqualified if he joins any political party after such election. So people have chosen that particular individual as an independent member because maybe people have trust on the particular person's accomplishment. Maybe people have voted him because people have lost their faith in the political system. They want a candidate with a clean background rather. And therefore, they have chosen that particular member. And now if the member joins another political party, then that would be defection. So this is for the independent member. Next, if a nominated member joins any political party after 6 months, then the member have defected. All right. Now there are some exceptions. Number 1, the law, that is the anti-defection law, allows a party to merge with or into another party with at least 2/3 of its members. Okay. Next, if a person is elected as a Speaker of the House, Lok Sabha, or the Chairman of Rajya Sabha, then of course that person is not supposed to be alleged as a defector. Next is that earlier there was this concept of split. So if 1/3 of the members of a particular political party gets into another political party or actually creates a new political party, then that wouldn't have said as defection. But later on, this 1/3 member has been deleted by the 91st Amendment Act. So now if 1/3 of the political party members gets into another political party or creates their own after the election, then that would be a defection. All right. Now, so this particular provision is no more an exception. It is no more an exception. Who is going to decide whether the particular person is disqualified due to defection or not? It is decided by the presiding officer of the House. That means either the Speaker in case of Lok Sabha or Chairman in case of Rajya Sabha. Now, rule-making power. The presiding officer of the House is empowered to make rules to give effect to the provisions of the 10th schedule. Now, there are certain phrases that needs to be interpreted correctly, and we have certain interpretation by the courts. So, for example, voluntarily gives up his membership means what? It's a very wider connotation. Supreme Court has interpreted that in the absence of a formal resignation by the member, giving up of membership can be inferred by his conduct, or the member who have publicly expressed his opposition to their party should deemed to have resigned. Next. The decision of the presiding officer is subject to judicial review. Yes, it is subject to judicial review. The law initially stated that the decision of the presiding officer is not subject to judicial review, but later on this condition was struck down by the Supreme Court in Quixote Holohan case in 1992, whereby the presiding officer's decision has now been accountable, is now been justiciable in the court of law. The last one is time limit within which the presiding officer has to decide whether the particular member has defected or not. This is the question. This is the question which is in the news as well. The answer is, the law does not specify any time period for the presiding officer to decide on the disqualification plea. You see, the political parties are well aware of these loopholes, and they are using these loopholes for their own agenda. The High Court can direct the Speaker, exactly what the Calcutta High Court did. The High Courts can direct the Speaker to rule on disqualification petition if they do not do within a reasonable time. What is a reasonable time? I presume that the issue is that the Calcutta High Court has given a notice, or rather a deadline, to the West Bengal Assembly Speaker to pass an order on the defection case. That means reasonable time has passed. That is why the judiciary has to interfere. So I believe that's the precise issue. I believe you have understood the essence of this topic. Hope to see you soon in the next video with another topic. Thank you so much.